Hello, 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 hello. Hey, how you doing, Claudia? That's around the place. Hey, how you guys doing? You alright? Hi, Ben.
Uh,
Hey, Claudia. You
Hello.
well?
I'm really well, thanks. How are you doing, Rich?
I'm good. I've literally only just come on live, so I'm just letting everyone just come in the room. So we won't give away too much. We'll just let everyone just populate the room, say hi, come on in, and hopefully Jacqueline will join us soon. But you well?
Really well, really well. Yeah. Lovely sunny weather in Gibraltar, and here it is with you too.
Oh, yeah. You can see. I've seen got the door open. You can see the light streaming in over here, back there. There's lots of people giving some love in the house. Hey everyone. Hey, hey everyone. Wow. I can't say hello to everyone. Hello from Leeds in Yorkshire. So hey, hey,
Hey.
hey, Jacqueline's there. Jacqueline, or just click the button to request to join us, and I'll accept you can come in and play. Or I can think I might be able to request to put you in here. I can. Where is she? I'm sure I just saw her face. There we go. Invite. So hopefully this will work. I've never tried this with two people. Hey!
I'm here.
Hi, Jacqueline.
So hi there. So it's a bit scary this live, isn't it? So is it going to
Yes.
Yeah.
work?
Well, I'm petrified, but I'm very happy to have you both. So first and foremost, Claudia, Jacqueline, Claudia.
Hello, Claudia.
Lovely to meet you.
Yes. So I'm gonna move my camera up. Make sure you guys are all looking very, very dapper, very summery, very happy. It's good to see you guys.
So hot.
It's a yeah. Trust me. I'm like, whoo,
Yeah.
whoo.
And water.
Oh yeah. Whatever it takes, you know. But hey, all I'm saying is a massive thank you for joining me. Again, this whole thing came about from the fact that there's been so much in the media and so much on, I guess, across all our feeds about people, what about not just the menopause, but aging as a whole. There's lots of data coming out about the fact that we're an aging population around the world. Um, and on a personal level, I've had so many people talk to me about how I've been training recently and the fact that I'm 45 years old doing it. So I'm like, I'm
Like
almost
a
going to take offense at
baby.
that.
You're just a
Mm.
baby.
But I know.
Oh, wow.
I, I love the fact you're saying that. I'm keeping that. But because of that, it kind of gets you thinking, doesn't it? Because people are going, oh, it's not fair, it's because of genetics, and you go, no, hold on. It's if you've got a good habit early, why can't you keep it going
Mm.
onwards to the end? So that's why I'm thinking. I thought I'm going to speak to two people who I respect and who I know have got some strong beliefs in this. But while everyone's coming in, Claudia, I know who you are. If you've got 30 seconds, I'm going to do this for you to Jacqueline in a minute. I want you to introduce yourself to my followers and to everyone out there. Tell me who you are, what your background is. You've got 30 seconds. Claudia, go.
Hi, I'm Claudia. I'm a nutritional therapist with 15 years clinical experience. I actually have a passion for anti-aging. I run the Nutrition for Goldster, which is an anti-aging or healthy aging platform for over 55-year-olds in the UK. I think there are 15,000 members. So I run all the nutrition. I also run My Mighty Green. So Mighty Green, which is powered by plants, amazing supplements. And I lecture at the British College of Nutrition. So, and I am going to be 50 in 2 years' time. So I have a vested interest in all this information as well.
Nice. I like that. I like the little badge, like, hey, I'll be 50 in 2 years' time. Anyway,
Yeah.
move on. Right at the end. Love that. So, Jacqueline, hit me with it. Tell everyone who you are, what you do, and what makes you so powerful as well. Hit them with
Okay.
the stats.
Greg's here. Hi, Greg. Oldest person in the room. Okay. So far. So I'm 58. I've got 5 children. I've got 2 grandchildren. And I work in the fitness industry. I've been a personal trainer for 17, 18 years. I've always had a particular interest in female health. That's what I specialize in. And my business and what I do has evolved as I've got older. So at each stage, I was teaching antenatal classes when my son was who's 31, when he was a baby. So I was sort of empowering women, educating them, making informed choices around their healthcare at that time. And that's kind of evolved, and my kind of audience and the people I work with have kind of evolved with me. So although I still attract younger clients, my focus is really about midlife now, and promoting that healthy aging, because that's really important to me, to kind of help everyone feel that they can access the fitness industry and they can access fitness and wellness at any age, even if they've never thought it was for them, even if they're coming to that late. And I'm all about pro-aging, so I'm very pleased Claudia then changed that from anti-aging.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, no, does everyone stop talking about the anti-aging? We're all about the pro-aging. We're all about changing and challenging the narrative around aging, to raise people's expectations about what is possible and normalize it. Sorry, that was way more than 30 seconds. So I let you know.
It's okay. It's okay.
You know, hopefully your audience got a gist of.
Yeah, just well, hey, things that we've got so many topics to cover that I'm hoping it's like part one of maybe two. Because what I want to do is make sure people who are watching and people who know me, follow yourselves. Anyone who isn't really following the ladies, please follow them immediately. And if you've got any questions specifically for them, DM them after this. I'm going to try to make sure I try to keep this flowing. So some people have been saying legends in the room. Hey, take a bow, lady. Take a bow.
I think it's you, Rich.
No.
Yes.
No, the guy who did it.
Because you're the one with the 1
I owe him
million
money.
views.
I don't want to talk about it.
You're the one with the 1 million views for going to the. We won't say what you were doing.
No, we won't know. But hey, thank you for that. But yeah, I mean, so let's talk pro-aging then. Okay, let's just change the narrative, because as you said, it's the question of fitness is so many different things, nutrition, so many different things. I mean, a whole healthy lifestyle is about balance. We know that, but not everyone understands the nuances to it. I mean, if I said to you guys very quickly, what does aging mean to you? Snapshot. Claudia, what does aging mean to you?
It means maintaining our vitality and continuing to live our best lives. I mean, I always think that the goal is to die young at a ripe old age, to keep ourselves disease-free, to keep ourselves healthy and motivated and enjoying life.
Love it. Jacqueline, hit me with yours. What does aging mean to you?
I couldn't agree with that more. I think it's important for people to understand there's a difference in the UK in terms of healthy aging and your longevity, you know, how the average life expectancy. So there's a big gap. So although people are living longer, yes, people are living longer, but there's a big gap between healthy aging and life expectancy. So to me, aging is about narrowing that gap, so that, as Claudia is saying, so that we live longer, but in good health. Because who wants to live until they're 85 if the last 20 years of their life are spent in poor and deteriorating health? And sadly, that's the reality for the average woman in the UK, certainly, because life expectancy is about 80 to 84, but healthy life expectancy is 64. And as a 58-year-old woman, I find that horrifying. You know, to think that if we're talking averages here, I could only have another 6 years in good health.
I agree with you. So aging to me, it's just a number. It really is a number. It's, do you know what I mean? So many people get het up on so many numbers. We celebrate numbers as you grow older. You know, you're 16, you're 18th, you're 21st, you're 30th, you're 40th. And it gets to the point where people stop celebrating and get beyond a certain age. And you're like, oh, I'm just old now. What's the point? And you go, actually, if you've got into good habits as early as possible and you keep those habits going, then you can redefine how your story plays out. And as you said, what's the point in living to 100 years old if the last X amount, or even 80 years old, the last 20 years of your life are full of pain and angst and everything else? Want to adopt some good habits now they can carry forward. So I would say, what do you think we need to be doing as a society? Not just women. I know women use specialities, but we do have some guys out there who tuned in.
Sure, yeah,
but as a whole, what do you think we need to be doing? I don't mean a massive list, but things that people write down and go, actually, I'm doing 5 of those things. For example, what things do you think people need to be doing now to prepare for the future? Now, I don't care if you're 21 years old. You get into good habits now, that will carry you forward. So what do you guys think?
Shall I jump in here?
Yeah, sure.
So I think the single most powerful step that you can take to to ensure longevity and to preserve your health is to reduce inflammation in the body. Would you agree with that, Jacqueline? I mean, we know that between 70 to 90% of chronic disease is caused by inflammation. And by that, I mean arthritis, blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, all sorts of...
It's a precursor, isn't it, to many things? Yeah.
Love that. So it's about reducing inflammation in the body. So in a quick pop shot, how can people do that? What do people need to be doing now to start looking at it, identifying that sort of precursor and making tweaks to their lifestyle, their diet, their movement patterns? What can they be doing now to try and start bringing that down?
So number one, cut out the sugar or reduce the sugar as much as possible. Number two, bring in the berries and the dark green leafy veg, the oily fish and the olive oil and avocados.
Love it.
Mediterranean.
It does work. And as you touched on just then with the sugar, some people going, oh no, sugar, can't take it out. We're not demonizing sugar. No. What I think you're saying is we're saying it's about some people just aren't aware of how much sugar they're taking on board. That's all. Once you're aware of something, you can make an educated decision to go for it. People know, anyone who follows me knows I've got a mild addiction to strawberry laces, but that balance within a healthy diet. I'm not gonna say to people, don't do that. Because I'm like, actually, I don't drink or smoke. Why can't I have some strawberry laces or some sweets every now and then? If I find myself having too much, I have to sort of have a chat to myself. So it's because I know my levels. So what we're saying is not demonizing anything. We're saying just be aware of your levels on everything. Jacqueline.
That's right.
So some real practical things, I think. First of all, I think if we challenge what we expect, so I think we should raise our expectations. So it is possible. So as long as we, and this is why it's really good to have older role models out there that people can relate to, as opposed to, you know, yeah, obviously we've seen loads of impressive fitness stuff with youngsters, but we need to see older people engaged in fitness, in activity, health, nutrition, and doing well, for people to go, oh, it is possible. So what's the difference? So that's the first thing. But also say there is some groundwork we can be doing when we're younger, because, for example, the better our bone density is when we then reach menopause, the more chance we have of offsetting the risk of things like osteoporosis, which is, you know, a bone health issue. So if we're in our 20s, we can be building bone density. So there's a really good, so anyone younger watching this is a fantastic time to be getting into the strength training, because by the end of your 20s, your bone density is never going to be sort of better than that. It's always going to diminish. So that to me would be a starting point. What was the original question? Sorry, I've gone off on a bit of a tangent. What was the number one?
As in, what do you think we can do to affect and slow down or just adjust the aging process?
Well, I think that the thing is, if we understand aging, there's different things at play here. So we've got the chronological age. We can't change that. So that age is, I take slight, yeah, I'm going to actually have to re-educate you as well, Richard, because that age is just a number thing. We can't do that either, because age is much more, so age, chronological age, yes, is exactly that. It is just a number.
Yeah.
But we also know we've got things like functional aging, and biological aging, and we know that if there's real diversity in the diet, and Claudia knows this, and promote a healthy gut biome, these are all things that are going to support that healthy aging. We kind of need to recognize the things that are toxic in our environment for us, and things like alcohol consumption. Like you don't want to demonize anything, but we need to just get a handle on that from a younger age, really. Be really aware what everything we put into our body, how that affects every single cell of our body. And as Claudia's already talked about, that inflammation, that, you know, there's no this sort of cheating on your diet and all the rest of it, but actually there's no cheating on anything. Everything you eat, you drink, smoke, your activity, all those things are impacting. Sorry, it's a bit of a long-winded answer to that. Claudia's much more succinct than I am. I'm going to let Claudia deal with the answer.
Can I just jump in, Rich, with something else? There's a really interesting study that I read last week about Jacqueline talking about this diversity of microbiome. And sometimes these changes, they don't take long. Like the results were shown within 3 weeks. And the study was a cohort of women over 55 years old. So it's never too late. Is my message as well.
That's such an important message, isn't it? That's really, really good for people to know that, as opposed to thinking like, oh, it's a bit late for me. I'm stuck in my way.
And that's where I was going. So where you pulled me up, Jacqueline, where it's very cosmic, fine. It's where you put. Oh, I was saying that's just a number, because so many people will live for that number. They'll go, oh, when I'm young, carefree, I'll do it. When they get to a certain age, you go, oh, it's too late for me now. It's like,
Yeah,
no,
definitely.
it's never too
No,
late.
it's never.
There's people I know who are thinking, oh, should I go and join the gym or should I do weight training? Oh, it's too late for me now. And they're only maybe just in their 40s, maybe in their 50s. You're like, it's just a number. Get past that, start moving, start eating, making these changes, as Claudia said. And it really is just a number. Because we know there's people out there who are 55, 60, 65, 70. There's some amazing role models out there that people just aren't aware of, but aren't looking for. They're looking for, quite typically, unfortunately, like the stereotypical, like gym shark fit. But you go, that's fine. Look for other role models so you can go, that's where I want to be. Okay, there's no point in me.
Yeah, exactly. And I think
There's no point in me as a 45-year-old going, oh, my role model is a 30-year-old ripped to shreds athlete who trained specifically for a job or a role and eats a certain way. I can't attain that. My role model should be somewhere around my sort of socio level and age level, and maybe even higher. So I can go, that's what I want to be like. That's my aspiration. That's what we should all be looking at, people like yourself. So you can go, yeah, it can be done.
Yeah, it's relatable role models. I think it's really important so that people feel that they can access the industry and they feel that it's possible. This is why, you know, I have a real thing about being absolutely upfront about my age, and I encourage other women who are working in the industry and guys to be really, you know, I think when I first joined the industry, I was sort of approaching maybe 40, and I thought, I don't know, it's a bit of a young industry, you know, maybe I won't tell people my age. And it was actually Charlotte Ord. So you've worked with Charlotte, haven't you? Who said, Jax, I think the you know, one of your key selling points is your age. I don't think you should hide it. And I guess it made me think about it a little bit differently. And I've been really upfront about my age. And I think that's also important because we need to get away from, we've still got so much ageism in society. And this is a problem. So we've got women who don't want to talk. We have people of my grandmother's generation. It was like, oh, she's of a certain age. You know, it was like, and women over 40 didn't say if you were your age. And I'm like, no, tell people how old you are. People need to go, oh gosh, actually 55 isn't nearly half dead. Do you know what I mean? It's like, or whatever age, or 40, you're over it by the time you're 40. It's so important to have those relatable role models that people, you know, we change people's perception of what age looks like, because I think so many people are stuck with this idea that older adults means we've seen through COVID, you know, you're in a nursing home, you're not independent, you're reliant on other people, you can't get up and stand out of a chair, you need help getting to the bathroom. That's what lots of people think old age looks like.
Absolutely. And the thing is, though, with the changing of body shapes as it has done over the past few generations, people have almost become accepting of those and going, okay, I've got my mid-age paunch or wherever that it's sitting, and they're going, that's just me now. And you go, well, if that's you and you're happy with that, fine. But if you're not happy with it, you can change. And so many people are going, yeah, but and it's that whole kind of catch-22, people saying I should accept myself for however you are, or do I change? It's all down to the person. But you don't need to give up because people dictate you, or you think your age dictates it. At whatever age you can be, you can make a change. We all agree on that.
Absolutely.
And I think also because people understand like anything is better than nothing. So very often fitness sounds scary because they think you're going to make me go running, or you're going to make me do this, and I can't do any of that, and I'm really frightened, and it's going to hurt, and I'm going to sweat a lot, and I'm going to hate it. And it's also just helping people actually any step in that direction is it going to help.
The comfort zone has probably aged and killed more people than anything else, where people just gone, it's enough now. I haven't got the time to commit like those people over there. I'm not addicted to the gym. I'm not addicted. And people think that you have to be addicted to be working on yourself. As you get older, people think that's not fair. You're taking time away from your partner or from your family or from your job. And it's like, no, it's not taking time away from that. You're actually just investing time back in yourself. And if more people took time to invest the time they have in themselves, rather than, for example, sitting down and binge watching a whole series of something on Netflix over the Christmas weekend, you think, how many hours have you just committed to sitting on your sofa doing nothing? You could have taken a fraction of that time and done something to better yourself. Not just for age-related, you're talking with regard to your health and your fitness. So I think people also need to get past the fact they think anyone who's doing well or doing good to try and push themselves forward, they're addicted. Doesn't always work that way.
No. And Rich, it's the same with nutrition. I mean, small changes can make a huge difference in the long run. Even if it's just as simple as drinking more water and getting your hydration. levels, that can make it show on the skin. It can make a big difference.
So let's talk about that. So let's talk about the things we see. So I mean, like the effect of aging on you external. Let's talk about the external. What do people see? So when you get older, what changes on women externally that people watching this will go, I've seen that, I felt that. Tell me about the things that change that you noticed as you've gotten older or more mature.
To me?
To anyone, I don't mind.
Jacqueline, do you want to head this one up?
Do you want to start with the nutrition? So how that might show up on...
Yeah, so
I felt that was where Richard was going with that. That's why I was just...
Yeah, sure. So I don't know if you've heard of a very famous dermatologist in America called Dr. Nicholas Perricone. And he talks about how sugar increases the puffiness, it reduces the contours of the face, it increases the fine lines. And he says that sugar absolutely affects, your health, but also your skin. And we know that because we've seen, clients with type 2 diabetes, we've seen that glycation, the acceleration of the aging in the skin. So of course it's often the skin, but this is where collagen and nutrition can play a huge role. And we can support our body's production of collagen by enjoying all the bone broth and chicken stock, or maybe we reach for marine collagen supplements, or we can be looking at hyaluronic acid from internally as well as just putting it on face creams. There's really a lot we can do. And it doesn't even have to be what we're ingesting. I don't know, Jacqueline, if you've ever tried a silk pillowcase.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about those recently because of grey hair. So I stopped dyeing my hair about 3 years ago, and grey hair's a lot is more liable to break and everything. So I've been interested in the latest sort of information around silk pillows, but also for the face.
Yes, for both. So a lot of people come to me, they see changes in their hair. And often that can be related to low iron or thyroid or, of course, the menopausal changes. But when we have a silk pillowcase, it's so much more gentle on the hair follicles, and our night cream that we might be putting on our face. It doesn't.
Richard's just making a note.
It stays on our skin. It doesn't go into that cotton pillow, and we'll never wake up with like a creased face again with the silk pillowcases. So I've done a bit of a plug for the silk pillowcases, but it's something.
A bit of a run on silk pillowcases.
Yeah, it has to be mulberry. Yeah, it has to be mulberry silk.
Oh, mulberry silk. This is
Mulberry silk.
Yeah.
What is mulberry silk?
Don't worry, I'll let you know. I'm like, Google, buy mulberry silk pillow. 3. Wow. Okay. So, Jacqueline, so now same answer to you. So, the changes. What do you see changing for women, men, physically as they get older?
Well, so muscle loss, really. So, if we're not challenging ourselves, we're not engaged in strength training, then we're going to see muscle loss, and that's going to come, and then visually we're going to see that. So it's not that people might want to look big and muscular as they're getting older, but they are going to notice that sort of loss of muscle, and just that, and sort of worse still, I guess, for women and men is that tipping over into frailty, so that we start to see those postural issues. So more rounding through the shoulders in terms of physical pain, more back pain, for example, the loss of any definition in the glutes. So, we're talking about like flat bottoms, which obviously is a visual thing, but actually that has real implications in terms of our strength and our ability to be able to walk and move. And if we've got weak glutes, then, everyone wants a booty at the moment, but it's way more than that, because that it's going to lead to back pain, as you know, and so on. So it's going to show up in the body in those sort of physical ways, as well as how our face is looking. And also for women, weight distribution is going to change, and that's going to be more centered around the midsection post-menopause, just because of those hormonal changes. So we've got more predisposition. So we tend to take on, prior to menopause, we might be more, I hate talking about women in terms of fruit shapes, but more curvy in terms of breasts and hips. Post-menopause is where women typically, when they're lay down fat around the midsection. And it's not that the thermodynamic properties of food have changed, but we've got a sort of a number of issues going on here. It might be a bit more sedentary, doing a bit less exercise, diet, if we're sort of might be self-medicating menopause, if you like, might be drinking more alcohol, it's turning to the comfort foods because we're dealing with symptoms, all the rest of it, and all those things can kind of brew up a perfect storm. So that's another thing physically we might look like. So how we might visually change from that point of view. The whole stooping, all those things, neck jutting forward, all those things going on.
So the reason I ask that is because I want people who are watching this to go, oh yeah, I can identify with some of those symptoms. They're not symptoms, those changes. Now, it doesn't mean that just because you've got one or two, you're suddenly aging. But I want people to understand that we're real people. We've all been through a lot of those ailments, those conditions. We've got, whether it be back pain or hyperness or whichever the case would be. Yeah, people understand. I mean, one of the questions that came in just now was ladies saying a lot, as she's got older, it's frightened her into pushing herself like she did in her 30-year-old body. Her health is a lot worse. She's got high blood pressure and thyroid problems. How can I safely start? So what I want people to understand is this talk is my way of saying to people, right, a lot of people have a fear factor of getting started. I'm bringing two ladies who've been there, and we've all got experience. We've all got years and decades of experience, okay? The fact of the matter is you just need to start. Small steps, small tweaks. No one's asking you to go from wherever you are, whether it be sedentary to running a marathon. Too many people go from extreme to extreme. We're saying just start with small steps. Would you agree? Small tweaks to your nutrition, small tweaks to your movement, as in your activity levels. Doesn't have to be working out. It could be your activity levels, and small tweaks to your lifestyle. It's like a three-headed snake.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? You go nutrition, movement, lifestyle. Small tweaks. What I've found, and you guys might be different, or you might agree, is those who start fast end fast.
Yeah,
they're trying to do too much. So it's like start slow, and make a few changes, get that nailed down, and then move on to another part. Nail a few things, get that part moving, and then you can cycle back to yourself and just keep adding on, because it means you keep moving forward up that ladder. And that's how people can succeed. People tend to want things, I don't know if you guys agree, people tend to want things right now. People have no patience anymore. They see people saying, hey, 12-week transformation in your body, or 3-month total loss, and everyone's like, if it takes longer than a certain period of time, I'm not interested. Where you go, hold on, if you did a small change and you kept that change going for a year, for example, you'll be in a much better place in a year's time consistently than starting, stopping, that whole yo-yo effect. And so that's what I think people need to understand. As we're getting older, you'll get to a point in your life, you're going to go, I wish I'd done this earlier.
I think it's a bit like pensions, isn't it? I can say this because my son works in the financial area, and people often don't think about getting old and investing in pensions when we're young very often, and it's a bit like that. And what we need to understand is like money in the bank for when we're older. So at any point when we're doing this, it's about that sustainability. But it's very hard because I think many people don't address, in all walks of life, we don't address something until we hit a pain point. So very often it will be a medical condition or something that will bring someone into addressing their diet or their fitness. For example, I've got a recent lady who's contacted me, and her father is in a nursing home, and she's had a real wake-up call because she's looked around her. She can see the general health of those people, and she herself feels that she's not very healthy at the moment because of her lifestyle, and doesn't want to be in that situation in 20 years' time. So she's having a bit of a wake-up call. And then sometimes people might have a particular pain, or perhaps they've been told they're pre-diabetes, or there's something going on, or they've got an injury. And it's that. So it's very difficult to say to people, please do it whilst you're fit and well. It's a hard sell, isn't it? And I understand transformations. We love those. Oh, that's really showy. It's very hard to sell health. It really is, until we become ill. And that's a difficult thing.
I agree. No, I'm with you on that 100%, because I do think, especially with like the likes of social media, people like the glitz, the before and after, and you go, yeah, but it doesn't always have to be about the before and after. Why can't it just be about just a pathway?
So my photograph, Richard, because I know that you've seen it before. I share it fairly frequently because I've got a photograph when I was 18, and I quite often put, it's a new birthday, what I look like now, which is pretty much, it's not a transformation because I still look the same. It's obvious I'm 58, but my physique, I have not gained loads of weight, for example. And I really, when I share that, I really talk about sustainability. You know, it's not about rapid transformation. It's doing it day in, day out, week in, week out, year in, year out. And that's what's required, really. And it's building a habit. I was asked today, like, how do we find motivation? I said, please stop chasing motivation. Motivation's a fickle friend. It's about embedding those habits so that you couldn't not think about doing it, because it becomes such a way of life.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've kind of lost count of how many people are surprised about how old I am when I'm lifting big weights in the gym sometimes. I'm not even a big guy in the slightest, right? But I've been training for 30 years. That's not when I was like 14, 15. I was doing sprinting. I lift my brother's weight. So I've been lifting weights for 30 years. I'd like to think I have a certain degree of knowledge and how to do it relatively well. So same as you, my body doesn't change. I don't even show off my body that much. That's a different issue. I want that kind of, I'd love to have that kind of confidence where I just rip my top off and walk around pecs and abs everywhere. That's not me. So I don't tend to change much at all. So I'm very boring in that sense. But I'm hoping to leave this planet, leave this earth.
Yeah.
And that's it. Just keep it going. I want to have not a bad looking corpse. I want to have an open closet. People walk past and go, damn, oh, Rich, well done. You know what I mean? So, hey, it's about sustainability. So let's go for this. So I've got a couple of questions here. We know nutrition is vital. We know movement is vital. Okay. Why aren't people doing it?
Do you want to take nutrition first?
Oh, it's hard. I mean, Jacqueline, you talked about motivation. Motivation is just an emotion, you know, and yeah, it's really difficult. I don't know. I mean, I think sometimes we need proof, and sometimes when we start with the small changes and we begin to see the changes and the impact it's having, I mean, I wish everyone would learn from, you know, and follow the advice. You know, I always say that the genes load the gun, but it's the environment that pulls the trigger. And this is where we can be setting ourselves up for a healthier future. And hopefully people are taking it on board and you know, motivated by this.
It's really interesting, because I see someone's just said, because it's hard. If it was easy, everyone would be fit and healthy.
Go get them. Go get them, Jackie.
No. And I think, you know, this is why we've got such a responsibility in the industry to make it accessible, so that I worked with a client today, and she said to me, oh, such a relief, I thought you were going to kill me. And it was like, no, I don't, you know, one, she's got a couple of medical issues, we've got to work around that. I want people to enjoy what they're doing and take them on a journey with it, so they look forward to it. It feels achievable. You know, we don't all have to be, I explained today, you know, it doesn't take any skill at all to beast someone in a training session. It takes zero skill. I could do that day after day after day. The real skill is about safe and effective exercise prescription and making sure people enjoy it, they want to do it, it's achievable for them. It might not be, you know, the showy stuff we put on that you see on social media. We think, God, what are they doing? They're leaping off this and they've got their foot around their head or whatever. It might not look visually like, whoa, but actually this is what we want people to do. It's why it's so important that we make it, you know, there's a place where you can step onto it. Here you are, it's just from where you are, here's a little step. Can we do that first step? I very often, when you said like how people start, very often I say to people, could you walk 10 minutes from your home and 10 minutes back again? Are you doing that at the moment? No, I don't walk. Well, but can you walk? Yes, I can walk. You know, if someone's not immobile. Can you walk 10 minutes from your home back again? Well, I thought you were going to make you do. No, I don't want you to do that. I literally want you to go for a walk 10 minutes from your home, 10 minutes back again. Could you do that maybe every other day? By the time we've got them doing it every day, I'm thinking, brilliant. We've reached the Public Health England 115 minutes of cardiovascular activity a week. We're already on a health path. I think people are reassured when they hear things like that, because it brings it down to anybody can do this.
Low-hanging fruit.
Anybody could do that.
It's all about the low-hanging fruit. So again, so what I mean by that is some people understand the analogy, some people won't. The low-hanging fruit is the things you can just do straight away. You don't have to climb a ladder for it. You have to get stuff. It's no equipment. It's just like, and there's people out here right outside right now, maybe not watching this, but there's people know who may be elderly. And when I say elderly, I'm talking like sort of 70s or 80s. My mum is probably a great example personally. She's 84 years old. She'll still pick up Esme, my daughter, and walk around the house with her. And I'm like, Mum,
Fantastic.
she's strong. And you know why? Because my mum has never stopped. When they retired, she went in the garden and she tended the garden. She's always walking up and down the stairs. I know if my mum had to stop, she would probably age. So she has never stopped. And because she's never stopped, we've never stopped.
We
And
can see
she's a
more
role
of your
model.
mum on social media. Has she got an account?
Not yet.
Well, we
It's
need
coming.
her on. So we really do
I know.
need. So this is the thing. So this is why I love. I don't know if you know Train with Joan, who's in her 70s, who's
Yes.
she's got a huge account. But I really love her because her transformation has only been in the last 3 or 4 years.
Yes.
So I think and she's got medical conditions. So she's very relatable for people. It's not like, oh yeah, but she always trained. She's always been athletic. No, she hasn't.
Yeah.
And really, her life could be so different at this point. She's made that change very recently. Absolutely living proof that you can jump on this at any point. The sooner the better. We'd love you to start sooner, but actually it's never too late.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And going back to what you said earlier on about people don't tend to make a change until there's a pain point. It literally is that analogy of a car. People just drive around in their bodies until something breaks down, until the mechanic or the doctor, medical or health professional says, unfortunately, you have an issue here. You have to deal with it. Then they'll go, oh, I better deal with it. And what you find is a lot of people socially, it's the group of people hang around with as well. If you're one person in a group of 5 or 6 who says, I want to make a change, but the other 4 or 5 are saying, why? You're fine as you are. You then have that peer pressure at whatever age it is. Do you make that change? Are you strong enough with the willpower to say, actually, I'm going to step away from what they want to do, which might be drinking, smoking, doing all kinds of things on the weekend and make a change? Or do you fall in with the crowd? There's so many social aspects that come to this as well, and which what we'll probably touch on in part 2. But the main thing is, so I don't want to go on too long, but I do want to do this. I want to wrap up with some strong ones here. Tell me why, in your own words, why it's important that we address the maturing aging process right now. For anyone who's watching, who's thinking, maybe tomorrow I'll do this, or maybe I'll do my food shop at the weekend. I'll keep buying those cheap nuggets because they're great for the family. Why should someone start making the change now? Claudia.
Because we want you living your best life. That's why. We want you feeling your best. We want you at your most productive. We want you enjoying your best life and avoiding health concerns and conditions in the future.
Love it. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Just do it now. You know, to absolutely your future depends. The decisions you make today impact your tomorrow.
Ooh. See? Yeah. So I'm gonna leave it with this because that's 2 great endings. I'm gonna say this. Do it now. Because there may not be a tomorrow. So why not just do it now? And if it's not for you, do it for your partner. If you haven't got a partner, do it for your friends who love and care about you. If it's not them, got children. If you're healthy and happy, your circle are healthy and happy, and they'll worry less about you. Okay? So it really is. This has been an absolute pleasure. I know it's just a short one, but I think we've done pretty well. We ticked a few boxes.
Before you go, you've got lots of votes for Mummy Callender coming on social media. There's like a whole team of people saying, Mummy Callender. You have to get her on, Rish.
Do you know what? I might speak to my mum and say, Mum, when I do a part 2, do you want to come on? Even if it's just to say hi. So I might see what I can do.
Her account. I'm sorry. She's going to be way more popular than you.
Let me tell you. Let me leave you with this thing very quick about my mum. My mum, our family is like the Cosby Show. We're a close family, and we've been through so much. And obviously, we lost my father a couple of years ago. Yeah. But throughout the whole process of everything, my mum and dad have always been consistent. They've always preached to all of us kids. We've all done some element of fitness. We've all competed when we were younger, but we've all kept moving, whether it be sport and fitness like myself, or martial arts my brother, or badminton, or we've all done things, but we've all carried it forward. So what I'll say to any parents out there, if you've got kids, it's not about having to compete to win. Just have your kids play, try different sports, activities, whatever. Isn't just going for long walks with them. Instill it in them at an early age, and you keep doing it, and they'll keep doing it, because you're role models. You really are role models. If you can't be the role model, find someone who can be a role model to your children. If you can't give them what you think they need, and it doesn't matter what age your children are, even if it's your friends, actually, it can be other adults. If someone needs a role model and you can't be that role model, help them find a role model who can lead them forward, because that's what we need more of. Not just social media, across everything. We need great role models of every color, shape, size, demographic, you name it. I don't care. We need people doing good things so other people do good things and it plot a way forward. And we'll all grow old together. How about that?
Yeah, lovely. Love that.
Fantastic.
You said
So,
it. You said it.
Hey, all I want to say is massive thank you for this. Is like the pro-aging process. I want to call this the pro-aging process. It's been Claudia, it's been Jacqueline, everyone. If you've watched this, whenever you're watching this, whether it be today, whether it be in 2022, 2023, whenever you're watching this, please follow these two ladies, hit them with any questions you have. I saw some of the questions from earlier on, people asking about certain things and giving some of their statements. I'll try and double back and answer some of them, but if not, hit me up with the DM, hit the ladies with the DMs. They've got their specialities, they're amazing people. But I want to say to everyone, thank you for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure. Ladies, thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
But you know what, I just feel a bit underdressed. You guys are all glamorous. I want to go and
No, not at all. It was just like, what can I wear? It's so hot. I've been living in a bikini, so
well, no, but
I thought that might be just a bit too much. So.
A bikini might be, I mean, it would have put pressure on us. But I'm just gonna go and finish my Amazon order for my silk pillow.
Yes.
And
Quick before they run out.
Before they run out. I'm going to buy as many as I can, and then you can find them at richcallender.com/silk pillow. But apart from that, ladies, have a great evening. Everyone who's watching, all the viewers, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Send your comments below. Got any other questions, hit us up. Otherwise, I'll see you guys all soon. Ladies, thank you.
Thank you. Bye
Thank you,
now.
Rich.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.